there's your power of attorney, and we had the documents. We don't give any information out to anybody except for the owner or power of attorney, that sort of stuff. Does that answer your question?
No, I understand what she's saying, you can't give out my social security number, you guys won't get anything anyway.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think you have that anyway.
But what I'm saying is the thing we voted in last time said, didn't specify what information could be given to the board, or given, like any member could go in and ask for information. So I know at one time we struggled with not being able to get information.
What
So
kind of information?
I'm adjusting it to the board instead of CMG. Are you CMG?
Are you talking about the
No
bylaw
offense.
amendments?
Okay, pardon?
Are you talking about the bylaw amendments?
Yeah.
It's only those things that are allowed to be released by law.
But what I'm saying is it was not specified that way.
It is.
It is.
It is.
The amendment says all information, does not specify.
It does. It's very first sentence.
I didn't see the part where it said by law. I'll double check and have you.
Okay.
Well, anybody
If you wanna leave me your
stupid
email,
doesn't
I can-
Release anything that wasn't legal to do, but I'm telling you again,
As a
that
company.
your tax, if you're delinquent on your tax, I can find out, because I'm gonna look into public notice. If you go taxing on your boat, your house, they're gonna put it right there and I'm gonna read it.
But
I
no,
will.
CMG.
I just don't want to get
about
an email and
information
stuff.
about the deeded owner giving approval.
Okay, so you got the email addresses from Marshland, so you're the holder of the
Some
email
of them, and
addresses.
some of them have just been given when we,
And I'm not saying that we're gonna do this, but if we decided to not continue with CMG and decided
we can
to
send it. We
to
can-
self-manage,
It goes with,
then you would release them.
yeah, it goes, whoever's managing, if it's
Gotcha.
self-managed, management company, if CMG no longer is doing it, yes. Any information that we received from Marshland while we were managing, it would go to the next managing agent.
Okay,
So yes.
Can I get a clarification? If the board wanted to do a newsletter like Artemi was speaking, is it possible for somebody on the board to access those email addresses? And, because
That's
obviously,
what I'm checking.
okay,
That's what, to see if I can get onto the board.
At least the secretary.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, like I said, I don't know where it
Okay.
falls.
you can trust the secretary, he's not gonna get a video.
Well, she got them from Marshland, to begin with, they were the property managers,
Right.
and Steve Marshland's got them from the board, so
Most likely Marshland got them from the
Listen,
individual
if the
homeowners.
board asked me for my email address and CMG did, guess who I'm gonna give it to first? The board.
I just need to look at the legal side of it.
No, I agree with that. I mean, we got to do what's no question. Okay, let's move on. Yes, sir, yeah.
I think you may have covered it already, but if it goes back to the point where the board does away with CMG, Marshland, ABC Company, whomever, the board would have that information outright anyway.
That's correct.
The same way that you're talking about going back and signing checks instead of allowing them to sign the checks. It belongs to the board. It belongs to the board. That information, they're just sort of juggling it for you, but where it lands is right back in y'all's lap. So it's your information, not theirs.
I think if there's any intellectual property rights, I agree with you, it should be the HOA that owns it, and that they're our subcontractor and,
Correct.
or our contractor,
That's
but,
why I
and
just
you're
wanna
just
check.
holding it, but she's gonna check into it and see who is the legal owner of that contact information.
Well,
Right.
Damon's the owner of it, it's just, with us, we're just holding it.
Correct.
And so that's why there may not be a problem with giving it to the board, I just wanted to double check before I do anything.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, can I go back to the newsletter for a second? Is there any resistance from the board? How much do you want to review
Is this for postage
for the newsletter? No, there's not, well, I guess,
or just email?
this time I'm trying just to form a committee.
To answer those questions.
Are you thinking about running on a website or doing a monthly mail?
Just a monthly mail,
Okay,
or partial mail,
Yeah.
whatever emails we have.
Or
Okay.
email.
an email, not a post office.
We
Post
have,
office would be nice too.
well, yeah, we have 3 people that don't have internet, believe it or not, in Shadow Moss.
Yeah.
That I've spoken to personally, that I have to go to their house every time
Yeah.
I want to update them.
But I don't do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we have some that,
But he's smart about it, he's got a reason.
I have reasons, I'm a global businessman, so no information at all, period. No Facebook, no email, no fax at my home, no nothing. Everything to my headquarters.
You can run with
I have homeowners that
Actually,
are.
I'll volunteer to help you with that.
Okay.
I don't do anyway.
We do it some communities where you send emails to all the ones you have,
Yeah,
and
that's what I
then
was thinking.
just send the paper one to people that don't have that, way it's not as big of a cost across the board.
But you just want to form a committee, right, to discuss these things?
Before we spend any money, is there some traction, or, I don't want to be doing it all by myself.
Okay, moving on.
Leanne has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
It relates to communications, so I thought I'd ask it now. In June, when that new set of amendments was passed, one of the amendments said that any action that's taken by directors at a meeting or not at a meeting would be reduced to memo of resolution and sent out to homeowners. It's been over a month.
Well, we don't have
Apparently,
email
there's
addresses
been some
yet.
action that has been taken, because you're running the meeting, I'm not sure why. And there's been some discussion about attorneys changing, and I follow everything, and I haven't seen anything notifying homeowners.
We don't have all email addresses.
I mean, I, as the management company, can send e-blasts to the community. Artemis has typed up stuff and I've sent it out to the
Yeah,
community.
it's been going out.
Or Timmy.
Nothing has gone out and notifying homeowners of any action by the board since June, or if it has, it hasn't come to my email address.
So can we put those resolutions to you, Liz, and have you? Okay,
Yeah, anything that the board wants sent out, I can send out.
okay.
Okay. Well, our team will get that to you.
Leanne, are you looking them in your
I'm looking
email?
for it in my email,
Yeah, okay,
or anywhere, my mail, my email,
okay.
a phone call, a letter on my step. I don't care what, you didn't specify in your amendments, but it said clearly that we would be notified. It did not give a time frame, but I would expect that a month before the next meeting is reasonable.
Agreed.
Yeah, newsletter might be a good vehicle for that.
So, going along with that, why are you running the meeting?
I'm president of the association.
Why?
I was voted
How?
on
He was voted.
How did that happen?
by the board
When?
2 months ago.
2 months ago? No, not 2 months ago, because I was on the board 2 months ago.
It was like a month and a half. There's been a delay in the meeting, so,
It's the second meeting.
And this is the second meeting he's been presiding over meetings as the president of our HOA board.
What, second meeting?
This is the second meeting that Ron has presided
When was the first?
last month.
Last month's meeting was canceled.
no.
He was voted into the last meeting? I think they're not communicating correctly. The last meeting he was voted in.
Okay, that was not a regularly scheduled.
No, they scheduled a special meeting,
Okay.
and that was not communicated to the members either.
That's another good thing for the newsletter.
And so you're now the president?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, even though you only attended as a board member like 2 meetings prior to that,
I attended required meetings.
right, every third meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
And are you a homeowner in the association? Just curious, I know it's not required in the bylaws.
I'll talk to you after the meeting about that if you want me to.
It can't be public knowledge?
Sure it can. Everything public. I just sold my home in here. So,
So
coming
you
over
know you
here,
are not a homeowner?
I just sold my house. And come November, or whenever the annual meeting is, I'll be stepping down. I was voted in until November. I was voted on that, but I'm moving to another subdivision.
He was looking at property in Middleborough, but it didn't fall.
Okay, but I mean, looking doesn't make you a homeowner, I'm just curious. Who's representing me on the board?
Well, why are you bringing it up? You don't have to be a homeowner.
Yeah, don't have to be for the bylaws.
Because I like to know who's representing me, Steve, that's what I'm telling.
He's representing you. It doesn't
Apparently so,
matter
and
if
he's not a
he's,
homeowner,
but it
that's all
doesn't
I want to know.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter if he's a homeowner or not.
And I understand that, I just want to know the status. And I think I have a right to know that as a
I didn't
homeowner.
say you didn't, I just wondered why you kept.
Let's get back to
Let's
finishing.
get back on schedule here. Okay, board position on HOA in the neighborhood. this was discussed at the last meeting. There is no future plan to dismiss the HOA or try and vote it out or anything. The board was, the HOA will stay intact just as it is. It's not going to, I know I've heard some talk tonight about self-management and all that, but I don't see that happening. I think there's not, takes way too much time to, for anybody, especially 8 members, to try and run an organization of this size. Your time would be, I hope it would be a second, third job. You just couldn't do it. And my position last meeting was that we keep the HOA intact. Now, that will be to the future boards, what y'all
Actually,
do.
membership.
Or the membership, not the board. But I think a neighborhood this size has to have an HOA. And I don't think you can operate without one.
It should be twice as big as it is, because fewer than half of the neighbors in this neighborhood
Well, the original developer, though,
are members.
let those opt out after X amount of years. That's basically how they got out. So, I'd be happy to answer any questions. The board's position is to keep the HOA. I don't think there's any, I don't think anybody would want to take this on full time. You think you got problems now? You got to yes, sir.
If a non-HOA resident decided to join into the HOA, is that just for that term that they joined in, or
I don't know that
could
they
they opt
legally,
out?
I don't know that they legally could. That would have to go to an attorney to answer the question. If they're in a non-HOA area.
I was told when I bought a property in non-HOA that I had the right to do that, to join in. What they couldn't answer was if it was, when you're in, and there was no opting out, or if it was just an annual term. But it was assumed,
I can't answer
it
the
was
question.
assumed an annual term. And then second question, what benefits can we give those if we want to grow our HOA basis? What benefits are there now, or what benefits could we propose to give if we do want to grow it?
Well, basically what it is in the non-HOA, it's kind of like having a welfare system or a tax. You're basically a third of the members are paying for everything for all the members.
Yes.
Kind of like our tax situation is. And I would think that if you're in a non-HOA, I don't think you'll get those people to ever come back in. It's like taking a welfare check away. Once you give it to them, they're not going to volunteer to come back and pay $100 or $200.
But if we now own land and lots, a lot of young children are coming back to the neighborhood, mine included, access to playgrounds, maybe discounted golf memberships at the pro shop, maybe discounted pool memberships.
Those are private.
They are, but JP has seemed to really been working with the social committee of recently.
Oh, we can talk to them.
And it could, just food for thought. It could be something that.
That's a work in motion. That's a long-term.
Perfect.
Strategy.
Yeah. I think it would be good if you could get all the neighborhood back in the HOA.
Sure.
I think it would be a.
But you'd have to give them a reason to, right?
You gotta give them a reason. You gotta give them, there's gotta be some bait on the hook. You get them, there's no question about that.
And my backstory, I just sold a home in December. I moved into the HOA section. I believe in the community. I know we can get there. I'm willing to help if at all possible. I think there are some benefits that we could provide to non-HOA if we could move forward on it.
Sure, I think you probably have to go through the neighborhoods with a petition.
Yes, sir.
To get them signed back in. And again, it's more of a legal question, I think, today than it is.
Thank you.
We certainly don't have the authority to say come back in.
I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really comment on that one.
Right. Okay, goals, Tim Poline was the president of the board. I think our goal is to become